Hi everyone. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're joining me from. This is Employability Skills with Stella Adedeji. I'm happy to be here again, and we are here to learn and relearn, upskill, and then okay, so share knowledge as well. I'm sure you've been enjoying some of the past episodes. Today we are looking at something very succinct, apt in terms of building an organization, and this is what we call because why you need to understand this is because life is transient. You may just, eventually decide to go into business, want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start something on your own. Maybe having this understanding would help you when you get to that bridge. Okay, so the topic of discourse for today is understanding organization design. That's in relation to employees, yes, for entrepreneurs, for employers. Okay, so it cuts across. So understanding organizational design. Okay, so when we say organization design, uh, it's basically is the structure that we put in place when we want to build a business. It refers to the way and manner in which we structure an organization in terms of resources, human capacity, processes, the people to be able to achieve its set objectives. Okay, so organizational design involves quite a number of things, but majorly it involves decision making, how to allocate tasks, how to allocate responsibilities within an organization. At the same time, it shows the thread and the line of authorities that are available in an organization. Okay, so the design of an organization, it can have a significant impact on the performance of the employee, because some organizations there are no structure at all. Everything goes everywhere anyhow. No policies, no procedures, no processes, no KPIs. Everybody's just doing. So this will definitely affect the productivity of the team, will affect deliverables and relationships. So it will also affect the overall employee experience, because things are lumped up. Everybody is doing what they like. That is not a good structure. Okay, so but I'm going to discuss with you today some very key aspects to consider when you're looking at designing your organization. Okay, so I'll take you through certain things you need to know to understand in your organizational design. But before we go into that, um, McKinsey statistics reports, very recently I read about a report that McKinsey gave that half of organizations have gone through a redesign in the last 2 years. So what that means is that it's a continual thing. It's a continual thing. You keep rejigging it, you keep looking at it. Are we okay with the hierarchy? Are we okay with processes? Are we okay with policies? Are we okay with procedures? So in the last 2 years, about 50% organizations have considered redesigning their, so it's an ongoing thing. You don't close on it. You keep doing it until you achieve a perfect organization. And so many people will say there are no perfect organization. I agree with you, but then we can be near perfection. Okay, so in the last 2 years, half of the organization, in the next few years, all the organizations would have done a redesign, restructuring, um, uh, or realignment of their structure, their organizational design. Now, the benefit of having this kind of organizational design is to set a clear goal. That's number one. Then number two is to grow the organization. So you realize that organizations that engage in design thinking, in organizational design framework, they have a tendency to grow faster, to have better decision making trait, to have greater efficiency, produce better results. Okay, so but a few of those redesigns that many organizations do, a few of them are the ones that affect performance eventually, because of the way it is done. Sometimes it is not aligned with the strategy or with the core business value of that organization. So many times when it comes like that, you just see that organization has spent money, but then it is not yielding in the profitability. We cannot see a corresponding increase in productivity. So when we buy an off-the-shelf organizational design framework, now that is what we run into. Small structural changes or off-the-shelf approach, what they do is they rarely produce the result that is desired. Okay, but however, for an organization to successfully redesign their structure, um, they go beyond and above. So they consider the internal environment, the outside environment, or the external environment, to be able to take informed decision. These decisions are what would birth the type of policies that will be drafted for that organization, the type of structure that will be put in place, the type of goals that will be set, the type of performance appraisal that will be set, the time of of the type rather of policies of processes that will be put in place, the type of strategy that will be employed to achieve those objectives. So when it is tailor-made, it is better. So it is better. So having considered internal environment, external environment, and the unique business design to a specific operating model, you know, when you have linked it with strategy and everything, you tend to get a better result. And what is the advantages of this? We have better accountability, we have enabling enterprise collaboration. You have a lot of people coming from all over, wider collaboration. There is visibility for your business. There are behavioral changes, because these are well thought through processes. It births behavioral changes. So naturally, since you intend to change, you're not afraid of um, resistance to change, because definitely this kind of structural redesign or organizational redesign will bring about um, um, threats in terms of acceptance. We anticipate resistance, organizational resistance, which is very normal. So, but when you employ this tailor-made, you have already considered the people, the culture, the strategy, the goals, the objective, the tradition of the organization. That helps you to do a better job and achieve a better result. Okay, so there are so many approaches, including the tech approach and all, to deploying these organizational redesign models to organization. But I would go now and delve more into what the key aspects that are to be considered. Key aspects that are to be considered when we are talking about organizational design or redesigning. Okay, so design is when you start from scratch. Redesigning is you had a system before, a structure, a policy, processes, you had them before, but obviously it's not working because you are not getting a corresponding level of profitability that your business, that your business prospects, or that the potential level of profit that you you can actually uh, earn in the business. Okay, so number one, talking of structure, this time we are talking of the hierarchical structure. So in the hierarchical structure, we have this traditional hierarchical organizational structure where you have employees are grouped into departments, into units, you know, each has its own management, department. This is our finance department, operations department. Okay, so I hope you understand what I mean by hierarchy. You can, Google up what hierarchy means. There is a particular chart that is used to show the hierarchy. It means the flow of authority in the organization. Sometimes these hierarchy, they are the ones that we use to establish reporting relationships. They are the ones that we use to establish lines of authority. Okay, sometimes we have flat structure. Flat structure means there's a head, and then every other person reports to, usually for smaller organization. Okay, so it's a structure. So the admin you have is the head of admin, so admin manager, the operation manager, finance, like that. All of them reports to the MD or the GM of the organization. Okay, so it's just basically lateral, is flat, such that it is from the leader to the subordinate and nothing more. There are no other legs that are joined in that hierarchy. Okay, so having discussed the hierarchy now, there is flat, there is complex, there are different ones that we have that um, we have that helps us to be able to decipher the line of authority, who reports to who answers to who. I mean, and then also shows the line of communication, either top to bottom or bottom to top. The method said, this hierarchical structure, has everything to cater for. I just designed one for an organization I work with. It's a very good one. It's a very big, because it allows us to be able to clearly, assign roles and responsibilities to staff, and also to show clearly the line of reporting. And this has really, made the environment be calmer, based on the fact that people now know who to report to and how to handle their KPIs and all. Okay, so talking of roles and responsibilities now, this is the second thing I will discuss on this organization design, roles and responsibilities. So number one thing is there must be clarity of roles. When someone is an internal auditor, the person must know on a bullet point basis what is required of him or her to achieve on the role. Okay, so well-defined role, it helps to understand what is expected of them, their responsibility. It reduces confusion, no conflicts, clear job descriptions and expectation contributes to the satisfaction of employee and their performance ultimately. Okay, so it's very good that we have clarity. So let's be clear with the rules. So when you pick up a job, and then the roles and responsibilities are not clear enough, you can ask questions, because you are going to be appraised based on the roles and responsibilities that has been marked and highlighted for you initially. Okay, so now the third thing I will talk about, remember I spoke about hierarchical structure. The second thing is the roles and responsibility. They must be very clearly stated. Number three thing is, okay, so now under roles and responsibility, we also have cross-functional teams. Cross-functional teams helps to achieve collaboration in the workplace. Okay, so I want to work with the business development department, to be able to achieve a particular objective. Okay, so we work together. Like for example, finance department will definitely work with the admin department. We have cross functionals, even though these are departments that have their specific skill sets in order for them to achieve their goal in the department. There is the need to also delve into sideway cross-functional knowledge sharing that helps to achieve success on object or success on goals that are set in the organization. So consider going to operations department if you're in the business development department to learn one thing or the other. So when you have this cross-functional skill, what it helps you to do is to be a rounded person. So it means you're ready for the next level of your role, because when you know it, when they mention finance, you're there, you have an understanding of what it is done there, you know what is done in operation, you know what is done in customer service, you know what is done in business development, you know what is done in the internal audit, not in full detail. I mean, alongside your own primary objective, your own area of core competence. This will give you an edge in that organization. So the third thing I will mention is communication and collaboration. This is very essential. So organizational design is done such that clear line of communication is created. Okay, so the design helps us to have to influence how communication flows within the organization. It's very essential for members of the team to stay informed. So how do they get their information, especially about the strategy that is driving, total overall strategy that is driving the performance of that organization, about the goals that are being set, about changes that needs to take place, about emergency changes that takes place, and about updates. So communication is very important. Either you're going to be using email, you're going to be using CRM tools like Teams, like Slack, like Google Meet, like any other CRM tools. This has to be well communicated, and everybody must align with all of these tools of communication so that there is no breach in communication at any point in time. Okay, so under communication, we also have collaborative spaces, physical or virtual design for it is basically designed for collaboration, of teams. There is a particular CRM tools I used, Trello, very good in project management. You know, it helps to open office layouts, help with the digital collaboration of stream, project reporting, manage platform, support efficient communication. These are tools that you can employ when you are doing your organizational design. You can also recommend them. Maybe you are a professional in human resource, or you are a business management professional. You can recommend some of these tools, and then you can also go ahead and teach and learn how to use these tools so that you can teach them and be able to. So I know some of them in case you want to learn some for a fee, because this is actually not paid for. So for a fee, I'm going to teach your team how to use some of these CRM tools, especially for sales, business development. Since you are looking at Salesforce, business development, you are looking at anything that will help you generate leads, lead generator, lead scraper, LinkedIn optimization, all of these would help your team. Okay, so these are just tools that you use. in an organization to get work done, you know. Okay, so number four thing I will mention is decision making authority. In your organizational design, centralized versus decentralized decision making must be clearly stated. So sometimes the distribution of decision making, the authority impacts on employees' autonomy. Sometimes you say no, this information is supposed to come from the office of the MD, while this information is supposed to come from the office of the GM or this one. Okay, so there could be a lot of mix up when the channel of communication of authority is not clearly stated. So in a centralized structure, for example, decisions are made usually at the top in a centralized structure, which is most of the cases in all the capitalist businesses. Okay, so decisions are made from the board down to the management, and the management team cascades it down to their team members, functional manager picking it up, cascading it down and down like that. So, but decentralized structure, uh, they allow decision to be made at lower levels. So you have a team, for example, it is project based, and if that organization is structured such that it's project based, decision would be taken within the confine of the project team. So it allows for middle level managers to be able to also make management decision, relevant decision, and it promotes inclusion, it promotes equity, it promotes collaboration in the organization. So it allows everybody, it increases the level of responsibility and accountability. Okay, so and helps people to feel belong, to really feel like they belong to that fold. Okay, so number five thing I will mention is flexibility and adaptability. There's something we call agile structure. Agile structure, some organization adopts agile structure. These are methodologies that allow for more flexibility and adaptability in response to changes in the business environment, changes in the economic environment, changes, any kind of change that happens within and outside the business. Okay, so this also influences how employees work. More emphasis is on responsiveness, quick adaptation, ability to change when there is a change. For example, during the period of COVID, a lot of things had to change. And the ability of an organization to quickly adapt to this new normal is what is required of an agile organization. So what we call agile is the adaptability, flexibility in top gear, in full use in an organization. Okay, so another thing that is important in organization design is employee development. So when we talk of employee development, we want to think of, okay, so how do we manage people's career paths? Right now, the career lane or the career industry and trajectory is changed such that we now have people work from home. We now have people, oh, my alarm has come again. So apologies. So we have people work from home, we have people work from anywhere, we have people wanting to work on site at the same time. Sometimes they leave off that and then they work from home. So there are so many ways to work right now. And you have people who just want to enjoy, just to stay at home, do what they need to do within a short while and leave it off. Okay. So, but whichever way it is, we have power out